do you think will be the female sex star of the early 1980s? Well, if you're a movie fan, you probably think right away of Bo Derek. But there is also a candidate from the field of pop music. Her name is Debbie Harry, although a lot of people call her by the name of the rock group she stars in, Blondie. We got a glimpse of her on our New Wave Rock feature a while back here on 2020. And Pierre Salinger is here with a full report.
Hugh? I find the story of Debbie Harry and Blondie fascinating because it's a mirror image of what happened to a lot of young people during the 1960s and 70s. She was part of that group that got turned off by society and turned to drugs to forget. One of Debbie's boyfriends died of an overdose. But she made it back and is one of the big rock stars of today. And this stardom has not been dimmed by the fact that Debbie is a beautiful woman. Some even say a new Marilyn Monroe. Blondie's the name of the group, and Debbie Harry is the name of its talented and explosive star, a sex symbol of the 1980s.
Like a sex symbol?
No, I think it's kind of preposterous, you know.
But yet there's some sex overtones to what you do when you're on stage.
Well, sure.
You're not exactly hiding it.
Well, no, why should I? I don't know, I try to be natural, you know, and I'm feminine and I feel good about it. I like it.
In 1963, you were named the prettiest girl in your high school. You remember that? Is that true?
Well, they always have that. Every senior class has, you know, have these phony elections of some sort.
Debbie Harry left Hawthorne, New Jersey for New York, seeking an artistic career. It was hard going. She worked as a secretary, a salesgirl, and as a Playboy bunny, finally drifting to a job as a waitress in a New York rock hangout, Max's Kansas City, where she rubbed elbows with Janis Joplin and Alice Cooper. She also got hooked on heroin. But Debbie had the will to survive. She was singing with a group called the Stilettos in 1973 when she met guitarist and composer Chris Stein, also on the road back from drugs. They fell in love and founded Blondie.
How does it feel to be living with the sex symbol of the 1980s?
I couldn't be happier. It's great. It's great. I take it all with a grain of salt because, I mean, it's funny. It's funny to me on a certain level because I just had a normal relationship with Debbie for so long. But as an ego boost to a man, it's fantastic.
I mean, is that something that your friends talk to you about?
Nah, not really.
No?
You mean like, no.
How did you happen to become a Playboy bunny?
I don't know. It was a weak
Is that something you
moment.
want to forget? Is that an experience you want to forget?
No, it was very hard work. It's not at all what it seems to be.
It looks glamorous from the outside.
Yeah, it's hard work.
But you never graduated from that to being a centerfold.
No.
Did you ever have an ambition to do that kind of thing?
No,
Not really.
I'm too shy.
Well, now, people who go to your concert don't consider you shy.
Blondie's music has its roots in punk rock, but it is smoother, almost a mix with disco. It is a new articulation of the rock music of the 1960s and 70s, sung and played by young people fed up and disillusioned with the society in which they live. Debbie says that Blondie's message is about love and frustration, but the lyrics are very simple, almost nonverbal, and the music is written so that millions of young people can identify with it and feel they can do it themselves.
One thing you insist on a lot is Blondie as a group. Blondie is not just you, it's a whole group. Could you, in a capsule, tell me what each of the members of your group contributes to the group as a whole?
Well, we have Clem Burke on drums, who is a wild showman, and he's Mr. Mod. We have Jimmy Destry, who plays about 6 keyboards at once, and he also writes a lot of our songs. And Nigel Harrison plays bass, and he's the tea bag. He's our English transplant, and he writes songs as well. Frankie Infanti plays wild man guitar, and he also contributes songs. And Chris Stein plays, what kind of guitar do you play?
I forget. White.
White guitar. He plays white guitar, and he writes songs as well. And I sing them, and I also write lyrics. Atomic is a song that was co-written by myself and Jimmy Destry. Jimmy wrote the music and I wrote the lyrics. The lyrics are the most minimal lyrics I've ever written, and it's sort of a parody of what a disco song should be. But it turns out that it really makes it.
It probably wasn't minimal lyrics which drew thousands of fans to an autographing session at a London record store, but Debbie Harry's atomic looks.
Like the greatest things that sell are sex and sass, you know, and that's what, you know, the greatest stars have always had. You know, they've been really pizzazz, and they've had sex, and that's it. And they've had a lot of other things too, but that's like the real hooks.
Nigel!
Blondie's latest album, Eat to the Beat, has jumped to the top of the charts in Europe, and the group has now sold close to 10 million records. A long way from the days when they lived on the Bowery and didn't know where their next meal was coming from.
Hot dog, watch out, look out! London town, one more time.
Blondie's tour of Great Britain was in a way a homecoming, even though the group is solidly American. It was in England and in Western Europe that they received their first major recognition and achieved their first major success. After London, it was on to Paris. Debbie and Chris have other interests in rock music, and with the group, they took time out for a visit to the Pompidou Art Center and the Salvador Dali exhibit.
Do you think Salvador Dali would approve of Blondie?
Oh, I know. I have to see it.
This is
This is one of Dali's earlier works, the Deborah Harry in blue.
Now Debbie Harry is branching out. She voiced the feature song in the hit movie American Gigolo, and the group is the star of the film Roadie, to be released this summer.
You want to plug us in for me, man?
Well, you look like the plugger. I'll be the plug-in. Will it work?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Everything works if you let it, just like my daddy says. All right, that's it. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's also one phenomenon, I think, in the public mind, and that is the association of the drug thing with popular music. I mean, you lived through that yourself at one point in your life. Can you relate to your own personal experience? What that meant to you to have gone through a drug experience and then come out of it?
It was, vastly educational. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody.
When you met Debbie, was she still taking drugs?
No.
She was already off drugs.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Had you had a drug experience of your own?
I had some horrendous experiences with LSD that caused me to have a breakdown, a nervous breakdown.
And how did you come out of that?
I discovered the rock scene. Everybody, I think, during that period felt very alone and alienated, and the rock scene in New York in '73 and '74 brought a lot of people together.
Leave only the best behind. Slipping sensibility. Tragedy and your dream.
We catalyzed each other. I was never very career-oriented at all. I used to just knock around and play. I played in a lot of bands, and I went to art school and stuff, but I was never career-oriented until I met Debbie. Debbie's given me a lot of drive.
And he's given you?
A lot of headaches.
Was it good? Or maybe you won't tell.
Does it bother you that people tell you that you look like Marilyn Monroe?
No, it's flattering. I don't think that I do, but I think it's very flattering. And I think that people that say that, have that effect on audiences, I think that that's, wow. I mean, I couldn't ask for more. When people are reaching out to touch me while I'm on stage, sometimes it really makes me laugh. I think that they're trying to get my shoes or peel off my stockings or something. I don't know. What does it mean? I've been, I've been sort of like tackled on stage. Somebody, some people have gotten like through the bodyguards and the security. And it usually just turns out that if you're confronting them one-to-one, they're just there because they really want to get close to you.
Where do you think Blondie will be 10 years from now?
San Quentin. I don't know.
Why do they break up the drums?
Well, they only do it when they think they've had a great concert. But I'll tell you that Bo Derek better watch out for her title as sex symbol of the movies, because Debbie Harry is coming strong. A lot of studios are trying to sign her up, including the Disney studios.
Yes, a great future there, possibly. Thank you, Pierre. Geraldo Rivera will...
Ladies and gentlemen, Blondie.